Hey, this is Kevin from Kevin's Microfleet. Today I've got a Micro Galaxy Squadron review. We're going to be taking a look at the Jazwares Vault exclusive Hera's B-Wing. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the figure, at the vehicle, at the packaging. We'll do some measurements and we'll do a comparison. Let's go ahead and dive into the review. The first thing when you get this package for the Hera Syndulla's B-Wing is you get it inside of this big shipper box. Now, if you're getting multiple of these, it's typically shipped inside of a larger case. And so this box stays relatively clean. You can see just a little bit of damage there as it got damaged during shipping, but that is all it is. It's just a Jazwares Vault shipper box. That's what it looks like there. So now if we go ahead and open this thing up, on the interior, now we have another box. And this one is actually protected with this cardboard corner cover, I guess, if you want to call it that. So we can go ahead and pull that out. And then now we can pull out the actual item here to see. So you can see that is actually not taped. The exterior box is taped. So go ahead and get rid of that. And now we have our actual box here. So now you can see there's the B-Wing on it, which looks really cool. You've got the limited edition. As we spin this thing around, just says Star Wars, another image of the B-Wing, and Star Wars on either side. So now we can go ahead and open this guy up to actually get to the real item. So they've got this inside of multiple boxes. And really cool presentation. When you open this up, you get a chance to see that right away. It's got this cool matte finish, which is kind of a soft touch material instead of a hard gloss plastic. And then we can go ahead and slide this thing out. Now we have the package actually out of the box. We get a chance to see this fabulous artwork here on the front. So you've got Hera Syndulla's B-Wing, LE0010, and then you have your cool Vault Edition 1 of 3000 sticker. As we turn this thing to the side, there's a little window here where you get a chance to see through to actually see the item inside. It's got Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron on it. And then as we keep turning this around, now you can see the back of the package that shows all the different features of this specific B-Wing, as well as you have your blueprint cut out there if you wanted to grab that. Then as we continue to turn this, again, you get a chance to see through this window to be able to see the item. On the top of the box, it just says Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron, and then the bottom, it does have a little UPC on there if you wanted that for any specific reason. So now let's go ahead and take this out of this sleeve. To be able to do that, you just slide the sleeve out just like that. So sometimes these sleeves are on there pretty tight and they're difficult to remove. You can see that one there came out pretty good. So now we actually get a chance to see the B-Wing, and this thing looks amazing. So you've got, again, Vault 1 of 3000 sticker on there. So the great thing about having that sticker is you could have it in either package. So either with that exterior sleeve on it, or like it is here where you have this window box to be able to see in. Cool Micro Galaxy Squadron logo there, Star Wars, and then you have that little scene there in the background, which again looks really, really cool. And this is actually somewhat transparent, so you can actually see a little bit behind it. You could put a light behind that and it would really make that thing shine, and this would look awesome. So as we spin this thing around, there really, again, is nothing on the side of the box, just that window, and then you can see here's the back of the packaging. So it is what it is. Now, when you're going to open this box up, I would recommend opening it from the top. It's a little bit easier to get the item out versus the bottom. When I tried to open it from the bottom, I didn't open this one, but I have another one that I opened. Each one of these little tabs here are actually taped on, so you have to cut each one of those tabs to be able to remove it, but it is what it is. Now, the other thing is this is secured in here with these plastic twist ties. The plastic twist ties is actually a much better way to do this instead of having the rubber band, because the rubber bands tend to deteriorate a lot over time, although they are a bit of a pain to take off. But you can see there's one there. There's also one that's supposed to be here on the cockpit, but for whatever reason that didn't make it all the way around the cockpit to hold it in place. But the one thing that is really nice about this packaging, you can actually see inside the packaging there that there is this plastic piece that goes over top of the wings to hold the wings in their locked out position. Now, that's super important, especially with the B-Wing, because these laser cannons there on the front, they're relatively soft. So if you had this in here and it accidentally tipped forward and that laser cannon then starts to hit the bottom of the plastic, it will bend it. And then while that's still easily fixable with some hot water or very light heat and then holding that in place, it is a soft plastic material, so it will bend some. But overall, this thing looks amazing. I already have one out of the packaging, so let's go ahead and take a look at the actual item. Oh, before I do that, actually you can see there is Hera actually inside the cockpit. So now we'll take a look at the figures. And so I have quite a few Heras lined up here actually. So we have two different prototypes that I got from over in China. Then we have our A-Wing from Series 2. We have our X-Wing Hera. We have Hera from the Ghost. And then we have B-Wing Hera. And so it's interesting to see the sculpt there for the prototypes, because you can see the prototypes are the same as all of the rest. And the one here, this one actually looks a little bit closer to the version that we actually are getting, but it's just unpainted versus the red one, which looks to be, you know, some type of a screenshot one. So then as we turn this thing around, we get to see, again, the sculpt is pretty much the same with all of them. There really is no difference between them. As we turn this thing around, though, and we get a chance to see it from a deco perspective, you can see between the Series 2 A-Wing and the Ghost and the B-Wing version, there is a little difference in the paint application. So you can see there with, you know, her shirt and what's on her chest, as well as the lines look much tighter. They're not quite as, I don't even know how to describe that, where they're just not as detailed. And then you can see even with those things that she has in her ears, they look to be pretty good. And overall, I think the figure looks amazing. And it's pretty crazy to imagine that we get this many Heras. Now, there are two other Heras that are the same one as this one that come with the Ghost. And so, again, cool to have this many Heras. She is roughly 1 inch tall, so that's it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the vehicle itself. So here is the B-Wing on my custom 3D printed flight stand. This is available on my Etsy store if you look in the description below. I do print these in black though, not in clear. Clear is just a little bit too brittle and they tend to break a little too often. So if you're interested in getting one, you can check that out in the description below. Now, as we turn this thing around to get to see some of the deco on the side, before we get super deep into this, when I saw that we were going to get a B-Wing, I felt like, well, it's obvious that they're going to do the Blade Wing, which is actually what she flew. It actually wasn't a B-Wing, it was a prototype that they called the Blade Wing. And it actually had a little cockpit down here on the bottom, which would be used for another pilot, and it was a little bit bigger than this. So I've got a picture here popped up right here on the side. And when she flew this in the show, it was really cool because it was the first time that we actually got the 4 lasers to shoot out, where all of the laser cannons fire into one ball of energy and then it shoots out one giant laser, which was really cool. We got a chance to see that in Skeleton Crew as well, but this was the first time that we ever saw it with the Blade Wing. And I was hoping that they were going to do this design, and to be perfectly honest, I am blown away with the quality of this. Even though we don't get that little ball turret there on the bottom, it is amazing to be able to get all of the detail on this. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off the stands, that way we can take a look a little bit closer at it. And so you can see here on the wings, so the wings do collapse like that. There is these silver markings, like it's got some damage on it. You can see it's got this cool little yellow logo on there with the 3 lines on it. It's got the white circle on it. Now, I did a custom of this, so I spent a ton of time going through and taking a look at pictures and all of that to try to get all of the coloring right and all of the details, and they nailed it on this one. So again, you can see here, it's got some of these silver markings here, the scuffs. It's got this tiny little red circle there on the bottom. It's got the yellow there. It actually has these really cool logos right down there on the bottom. And over on this side, it's got it with a little yellow on the side. We get the same type of thing up here on the cockpit. I mean, it is amazing. The quality of the detail that they put into something like this is really, really cool. It's got that red engine glow in there as well, which looks really nice. And then on the cockpit here, you can see the window is tinted slightly, and there is actually some paint detail on the interior of the cockpit. So when we open this up, you can see there is the seat painted, and then it also has a little bit of paint there on the dash, I guess if you want to call that. And then also over here on this side, you can see there is that like aqua color panel that's on there. And again, just incredible, the quality of this and the amount of detail that they put into something like this. Really, really cool. They did a fantastic job. So from a features perspective, it does have the wings that fold like that. It also does have a landing gear here, right there on the side, as well as down here on the bottom. So you could have this in its landed position, and the cockpit does rotate. So with this one, it's a little bit sticky. It does look like it has a tiny bit of a wash on it, so it's going to stick like that. But you could also have that set down on the table just like that if you wanted to have it in its landed position. So let's go ahead and do some measurements. So from front to back, this guy is just over 7 inches. And then, well, sorry, that was maybe top to bottom. Now if we go front to back, it's maybe 3 inches. And then from a width perspective, when the wings are all the way extended out, that's about 5 inches or so. Now, the other thing that is interesting about this specific vehicle, the B-Wing, when it originally came in its normal packaging, just the standard B-Wing, it actually does come in 2 pieces. So it has this whole engine part up is one piece, and then from basically right there at that joint of the wings down is a separate piece. So you can see if I'm moving this, I can wiggle that just a little bit. That's pretty normal because that piece does clip in. Now that cannot be removed after it's clipped into its position just because of how the teeth work on that. They snap into whatever mechanism is inside of it to be able to hold it in place. But let's go ahead and take a look at this relative to the other B-Wing. So here is our B-Wing, and compared to the standard version that we get from Return of the Jedi. And you can see the details on it, on that Hera one, is so cool. I mean, it is so cool. Getting to turn this thing around to be able to see. I mean, look at the amount of deco difference between the two. Now, the Vault version is $30, so you get the packaging, which is part of that, as well as all of this premium deco, versus the standard release, which looks relatively plain. There's not a whole lot to it. Then as we turn this thing around, you can see there is the back with that yellow engine glow versus Hera's that has the red. And again, it looks really cool. I am a huge fan of this one. Now we get a chance to see Hera with all of her different vehicles. So we have the Ghost, and then obviously we have her X-Wing, we have Hera's A-Wing, and then we have Hera's B-Wing. Very cool to see these things all lined up together and get a chance to see some of the scale of the vehicles that she flies, as well as just some of the different paint schemes that there are. I mean, pretty incredible for this line to be able to have this much detail and love for Hera and all of the different vehicles. That is all I have for you here. If you like this, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Check out all the links below to pick up any flight stands if you're interested in them, between the Ghost, X-Wing, A-Wing, B-Wing, and then a bunch of others, as well as like and subscribe, and then you can check out my Amazon links also. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I look forward to catching everybody on the next review.